Hello friends, welcome to our YouTube channel. In this video, we will learn the use of different if formulas, as we have basic employees detail, which includes status column, based on the criteria as per scores. Like poor status is given based on the score. If I change the score number, it will automatically change the criteria status. Now, if I change score to 65, it will change the status average. Now, if an employee got scored a 40, rating will be given as per criteria as poor. This is what we will learn using all types of if formula. But before that, please subscribe our channel to show your support. Let's start our example to use different if formula, as we have basic employee details. And we have status column, which includes criteria column as well. Now, we need to use a formula for our criteria condition. First, we use simple formula of if function. Now, first select score cell for logical tests. Now, if score is greater than or equals to 90, now it will be given status as excellent. Now, if criteria gets fail, it will be given status as poor. Now, we test our simple if formula. If we get scored a 90, we got status as excellent, else poor. After testing the formula, we simply need to drag down formula to apply below. This helps us to get the same formula on each cell. Now, we move to our nested if formula. Nested if formula help us to build multiple conditions that help us for multiple criteria. Now, we use a formula. Select score for logical tests. If score is greater than or equals to 90, it will be given status excellent, based on our first condition. Now, if the condition gets false, we need to give else condition. But in the else condition, we again use formula if. If formula help us to build multiple conditions using else criteria. Again, select score cell for else criteria. Again, if score is greater or equals to 80. Now, if score gets to 80, we need to give status as good. In the else criteria, we need to use again if formula. Now, we use here score to 60. If get score 60, will be give as average. Now, in the else criteria, we don't need to use again if formula. We simply need to use last criteria status. That is status poor. Now, we can match our formula with our criteria. Excellent is our first criteria and good is the second. Now, average is the third criteria, and poor is the last one. Now, we need to close all brackets. Each bracket has its different color to identify. Now, we drag formula to apply below. Now, test our formula by changing the score. Each score reflects its own criteria. If I change the same score to more than 80, we will get our status as good. Now, excellent for 91. Now, we move to our last and most advanced IFS formula. It is the advanced version of if-else formula. So, we use here formula IFS. In this formula, first we need to select logical cell. Now, if score is greater than or equals to 90, it will be given as excellent status. Now, in the else criteria, we don't need to repeat. Again, in formula, we simply need to give next logical text. Now, if get more than 80, will be given as good. As good is the second criteria of our formula. Now, we move to our third criteria. If score is greater than or equals to 60, it will be given as status average. Now, we again need to use logical tests instead of if-else criteria. Now, again, we need to use cell for logical tests. If score is less than 60, it will be considered as poor. Now, we only need to close single bracket. Now, we can test our formula by changing the values. Each score is reflecting the criteria used in the criteria condition. We can use if-else formula, or we can use advanced IFS formula. Now, we simply need to drag down formula to apply below. You can check criteria from any random cell. In this way, we have used all if formula.